You are watching. Pause. We pause for a second or two. How do we keep life coherent when so much is changing? This is episode 215, Age-old pausing. The name of this show, the name of this initiative is Pause. And pausing is at the center of everything we do here. Pausing is many things. And pausing is at the same time one thing. So today's episode is called Age-old pausing. And what we're talking about today is that pausing is something that living beings, people, mammals, cold-blooded animals, fish, insects, all kinds of different living beings. Pausing is something that we all just spontaneously do. So, the smallest, arguably not that intelligent insect is pausing. Every once in a while, an insect is pausing. And the arguably most intelligent animals, people, are also spontaneously pausing from time to time. So, pausing is very interesting. And at the same time, pausing is very everyday. It is just very common. It's a very common behavior or a very common practice or phenomenon. So, spontaneous pausing, let's call it spontaneous pausing. That's whenever we see let's say a cat, just sitting there and just being. It's not really doing anything. It's just spending time in its own company. Among people, perhaps the most common examples of people pausing is often children and the elderly. They often just sit there or stand there or lie down and just are. Not really exerting any effort, but just pausing in a very effortless, not active but not passive either, just pausing. And then we have pausing perhaps in the sense that we will talk more about on this show, in these episodes. And that is pausing as a skill, pausing as a craft. So pausing is this very common, naturally occurring thing that we all do. But pausing can also be something we consciously develop, something we consciously make a craft out of. And for when we're doing that, that is our core skill, pause. So now when you are looking at me or listening to me, you can see that I often pause. And sometimes you can see that I'm pausing, and you can see that I'm thinking about something, like now. And at other times, you can see that I am pausing and not really trying to think about anything at all. Not trying to reach anything. And pausing is all of these things. Pausing is something we just do. Pausing is something we actively choose to do. Pausing is something we contemplate. Pausing is something we analyze. Pausing is something we can compare. How do I pause in this kind of situation? How do I pause in that kind of situation? So in our framework of emotional skills, the pause framework of emotional skills, we have 5 different situations: sleep, acute, long-term, confused, and worn out. And these are 5 useful situations, 5 more or less comprehensive situations that pausing both feels different in, and the outcome of pausing, the effect of pausing in these 5 different situations differ. So if I pause in, let's say, an acute situation, then pausing takes on a different role, a different character than if I pause when I am confused. When I'm worn out, pausing is different from when I'm thinking about my long-term situation. And yet, when I'm about to sleep or trying to sleep or have just woken up, pausing is yet in another way. Today we are talking about pausing as something age-old, something timeless, if you will. Something that all people have done for all times, and that all people will keep doing forever. Pausing is so common, pausing is so taken for granted that it, to my knowledge, has not been called something, or if it has, please comment below if you have some other term that is similar to what I am trying to circle in here. That would be interesting if you have any other term or word for what, or at least what you are associating when I'm talking about pausing. And pausing is age-old, and that is the beauty of it, that our ancestors just paused all the time. And right now, we are at a point in history when a lot is changing. A lot of our infrastructure, a lot about our society is now undergoing change. So pausing is just really nice to get in touch with in this time. And yes, we can make a craft out of pausing. We can develop our core skill, pause. But even if we don't consciously want to create a skill or a craft out of it, we will still do it from time to time. It's just something we do. It's like breathing or walking or blinking. It's just, we cannot forget it. So it has this very comforting quality to it. It's like our heart beating. It's just doing it on its own. And we all pause from time to time, even though we're not consciously exerting any effort. And that is very reassuring. That it can both be something we effortlessly do, as just a natural behavior or what we want to call it. And it can at the same time be something we consciously develop further. And that is what makes pausing so dynamic and so interesting, that we can, each of us, choose how we wish to sort of mix the two. Our effortless, spontaneous pausing and our conscious, will-bound pausing. And how we go in and out of the two. We might have a day or some days when we just want to leave it up to the spontaneous pausing. And at other days, we might want to pause consciously a lot. That is interesting. Some people never like to consciously pause. They just don't like it. And when you are watching these episodes, this show, you will see that every other skill, every situation springs from our core skill pause. This is the heart of everything we do. And it is our spontaneous heart, since it's something we already do. So the heart of our framework is not dependent on our effort. The heart of the framework will just be there, whatever. It has been there, age-old, since forever, and it will stay forever. And that's just really nice. That some parts of the framework, some situations will prove more difficult to us and other parts more easy. But the core, the heart of the framework, always has this effortless, just given quality to it, like breathing. That's it for today. Thank you.